Welcome to the Hopenning, the place where hope is happening, with your hosts Fran Cadron and Marina Theron-Monnery. For more information about Fran and Marina, or to apply to be a guest on the show, please go to our website www.hopenning.com. The Hopenning is for informal purposes only and is based on the research of your hosts, Fran and Marina. They, as well as their guests, are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from this podcast, which is not intended to replace any professional medical advice or care by medical professionals you are currently utilizing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hopenning, a place where hope is happening. This is episode 92. Yay for us, Marina.
Amazing.
Yes, this is my beautiful co-host, Marina, and she lives in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I live in Northern Alberta, Canada, and I am very grateful that we have finally got snow, Marina.
I have to agree.
And so as I woke up, it was minus 25 degrees outside, but I was grateful. And this is the topic of our show today, Marina, really about gratitude, hope, fulfillment, and how we're going to get there in 2024. Yay!
That's right. Yes, so, that is our first episode of 2024. So it's right. Great to be here. It's amazing.
And Marina, you contacted me earlier in the week and suggested a topic for our first show of 2024. So tell me and our viewers about what was going on with you and why you suggested it.
Thank you, Fran. Shortly in the new year, my husband and I drove the first day that we could. We drove to a grocery store, and I normally avoid anything news related for a reason. But we were in my husband's truck, and the news was on, local news on the radio, and a reporter said, "What are you most afraid of for 2024?" And I went like, no, my entire soul was just rebelling against such a question. And I thought, no, I cannot do that. I cannot focus on fear. So I want to know the opposite. What are we most hopeful for 2024? And how do we focus on that? So anyway, Fran, a lot is happening in my life and a lot is happening in your life. And so to give us a little bit of a glimpse into very exciting things that is happening in your life, why don't you tell our viewers what is new in Franland?
Well, Marina, I am very grateful. I'm going to start with this. I am very grateful that in 2024, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be co-teaching a University of Alberta course. And so it's super exciting. Twice a week for 2.5 hours at a time, I will be teaching the course language arts in elementary school. And so I'll be working with students that I believe are in their second year of education, and their goal is to become an elementary school teacher. Well, in Alberta, those of you that don't know Alberta, we have a multitude of diverse learners from different cultures, different backgrounds, different languages. And every year we get more and more learners of that kind. So I am super grateful that I get to be a part of this, because I get to, with all of my teaching experience, I mean, being 34 years in the classroom teaching a diverse group of children, you learn a lot of skills. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to pass that on to teachers that are they're being trained right now in universities about really what life is like in the classroom. and how they can bring their skills to that. And what I'm really grateful for, Marina, is you and I, that we have learned so many skills in what we do, practically daily, of helping our clients. Really the mindset, how important mindset is, and those recurring thoughts that try to derail us and tell us things that we like, oh, I don't know, friend, if you're good enough. I don't know, friend, if you can actually do this. You've never had that experience. Well, really, it's just chatter, right? The static and chatter. And we all have that. But I want these students that are coming out of university in maybe 2 years to know it's just mind talk, that we can put anything, we can do anything if we set our mind to it. And Marina, yay, you're an example of that. So tell our viewers what's happening for you this year.
Well, that's such a good segue, Fran, because man, it's been something for the last few months, and it's new opportunities coming my way, that almost on a daily basis do I have to give myself this pep talk, because my mind wants to tell me, run away, give up, you're not good enough, you cannot do this, it's going to be one big flop. And I have to tell my mind, no, stop that. So what happened with me, Fran, in about October last year, I was out of the blue, I received this email, and I first thought it was a prank. And it was the executive producer of a network called Bold Brave TV. And they somehow found me and some of my content, and they wanted to know if I don't want to start to host my own TV show. And I really thought about that. I thought it was a prank, and it ended up not being one. And so I decided to do it. It's been an interesting experience for me so far, because I've been in training for it now for a few weeks, and I will be launching my show on January 18th, which is not a lot of days from now. So yeah, it's my heart is again just continuing what we are doing here. When we turn the TV on, we are bombarded with things that puts us in fear and negative emotions and doom and gloom. And so for me, I think my entire being became about hope. And I even, a while back, I changed my LinkedIn profile to say I'm a generator of hope, because that's really ultimately what I do through rapid transformational therapy, through talking with you, and always just thinking of ways to reframe exactly what is in that radio snippet that I heard that day, is to turn that around. And even for myself, in my thoughts, when I think, oh my gosh, it's a live show, there are commercial breaks, how am I going to manage that? To just say, because I can, because I'm being grateful for the opportunity. So the program's name is Hopefully.
Oh,
And
cool.
yes.
Did you get to choose the name?
We brainstormed quite a bit around it. And so that is, my husband actually came up with that. And so when I presented that to their network, they loved it. So it's spelled Hope-Fully. So
Right.
we'll see what tagline they come up. It's at the designers right now. So we'll see what
Oh, it's so
happens. So
exciting.
that is what's happening in my life. Just yeah.
So today we're talking about hope, and the fact that that journalist on the radio said, "What is your greatest fear this year?" It stuns me. It stunned me when you actually said that a human being that is on the airwaves, uh, and they ask that, and then automatically people are like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
wars and
Mhm.
all of that that's going on." And of course, knowing what we know, it does draw the viewer in. When people are super worried, super anxious, it draws the crowd in of what's happening next, what's going on over there, what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the next virus or whatever. It draws people in. But when we think about the energy that's being created down in with those feelings of fear. Marina, you and I both know about energy. I think that you are even more aware about the power of frequencies that we are drawing into our life and that we're taking into our body. Can you tell our viewers just a little bit about how energy works? I know that you're focusing on energy more for yourself this year.
Yes, it's interesting because my thoughts go to a little bit of a answering you in a different way. Um, in preparation of everything, I decided it's time to really declutter my office and to move things around. So as you can see, it's a completely different angle than it was last time. And that's something I don't like. I don't like to organize things. I don't like mountains of paperwork. And I've learned a lesson through working with clients, and that is in procrastination. And I'm up until now, I've been a master procrastinator. And I don't want to do that, but understanding myself, understanding why, and I avoid things that I don't like. I would rather walk the dog. I would rather go sit and watch TV with my husband. I would rather go to the gym. I would rather listen to something that, or go bake a cake or whatever it is that I like to do, than to go through that tedious job of sorting out paperwork. And I decided, okay, let's shift that energy. So to answer your question, if I thought about, okay, today is the day before you and I do this recording, I'm going to have my office sorted out. And I had to talk to myself quite a few times today to say, you can do it, because I didn't want to. And then I made a shift and I said, okay, what if I tell myself a better story here? What if I tell myself, I love sorting out my office? What if I start to trick my mind? What if I change that energy from I hate doing this to I love doing this? I love having a clean space around me. I love being organized. I love knowing exactly where everything is. I love that. And that's a shifting of the energy. Now, if we start a day and we wake up in the morning and your first thought is, what am I afraid of today? It will influence your entire day. So why do we start a year like that? But if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do, you say, what am I grateful for today? It changes your entire day. I just watched an interview with Rhonda Byrne, who wrote The Secret and who made The Secret movie. And that's what she said. And I believe it. She said, I start every day with gratitude. And absolutely. And she said the same thing. I started years ago when I did the course with Natalie Lidwell, the Ultimate Success Masterclass. I started to write down every day. First thing, wake up in the morning, open my journal, write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. After a while, I didn't have to write it down anymore. It's just, oh my gosh, I am so happy for this day, for the sun. Like you, the snow, we really need the moisture. We really need the cold air. Everybody I know has been sick. We need the cold air to free some of those germs going around. So everything can be positive. So no, changing that energy from what am I afraid of to what do I love? It's just a big energy shift. And so, Fran, I know that you also have an entire list that you made for our talk today. And how can you shift that? How can you shift
Well,
that energy?
I was, you know, how you and me, we're kind of on the same, I would say, frequency levels a lot. So, what I was going to say, which you said very, very beautifully, is gratitude. And gratitude, just the physical fact of gratitude, writing, making your list, it brings up your energy level. There's something different about the way your brain is emitting energy when you're in the gratitude zone rather than in the fear zone. So in the low energy levels, you've got shame, you've got guilt, you've got fear, you've got really low energy levels down there. And those are the types of energy levels that make people physically sick. right? Physically sick. When you're hovering down in those levels, people get physically sick. Well, if you want to get better, not build your immunity, it's very good for immunity to stay in the high levels. The high levels, of course, we know are enlightenment and love and peace. And then below that is gratitude. Those types of energy levels are high frequency levels. And that is what keeps immunity good. It's very basic, it's very science, and yet somehow people have forgotten it. And, part of bringing hope to people is trying to remember the simple things that our ancestors used to do a long time ago. And so I was listening to a podcast, and Andrew Huberman is my favorite neuroscientist. And he has things that he does. And it's not because he's a spiritual person so much, but it's because he knows the brain science behind it. And gratitude is high on the list. Gratitude, simple and effective. And one of the things he also talks about, and you said it too, is doing something that you don't want to do. And what he calls it is macro sucks and micro sucks, the things that suck. So for you, it's the decluttering and it's that kind of stuff. For me, it's paperwork. How would you like? I'm a teacher, and yet it's paperwork. It's like, oh, do I have to do that? And so I would rather clean toilets, seriously, than do paperwork. So what Andrew Huberman says to do, and it's brilliant actually, is find something that you hate even worse. And so he's like, whatever it is that you even hate worse than whatever it is that you have to do, find it and do it. And then you'll realize, and that's the brain realizes, well, maybe that's not quite as bad than doing that. And so he says, if you really can't find anything that seriously sucks, go have a cold water bath.
Oh.
So a cold water bath, it would be kind of a macro suck to actually get in there. And it does change the brain. It's actually good for immunity as well. Cold water baths are good for immunity, as according to Andrew Huberman, but I think it would be more of a macro suck than actually doing my paperwork. So I did clean up my office. I'm like you. I'm starting the new year off with a clean office as well. I mean, it's here, it's clean. It's not so clean what you can't see, but little baby steps count. Baby steps. And if we take little baby steps every day, eventually we get to our goal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So tell me more about some of the things you're doing to inspire hope for yourself and to change your frequencies.
Well, I think it's really all around us, hopelessness. And Fran, we have the privilege to work with clients who are sometimes in very bad situations. And it's very great for me to take their hands and find hope for them and see the results. It's really so amazing to see that. One of my clients last week, we just had a chat, and she said to me, Marina, I felt so much better after chatting with you. I think there's a novelty in really doing something that I love and feeling that I make a difference. It's just amazing. And then sometimes when I feel, oh my gosh, I'm so low, to remember, no, but my life has meaning. Like when I do what I do, it has meaning for people, and giving people hope every single day, doing this. And those emails I sometimes get of people saying, oh my gosh, I watched this episode and it meant so much to me. Thank you. I mean, that's what's keeping me going. So, yeah, there's a lot that we can do to change energy. And to me, it's not surrendering to it. When those thoughts comes up that wants you to just have another day of watching Netflix or procrastinate and just say, well, I'll get to it tomorrow, to say, no, now is the best time. And it's understanding sometimes why you are like that. And um, you and I both work sometimes with people with a lot of trauma. And I find that when people had trauma and pain in their life, sometimes they just want to have happy moments all day long. And that means then avoiding these things that are not pleasant. And I see that even in young clients who are still in school who come to me about procrastination, they just zoom out. If the teacher said, well, I need this project done by tomorrow, they zoom out. They're like, oh, well, no, I'm going to go watch TV now because I don't like it. Like, no, we cannot live like that life like that. We have to learn to put the fullness of pleasure into the things that are not as pleasurable. Having pleasure is a choice. Going to the gym, working out, that is a choice until your body is so used to it that you cannot function without it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. And you said it very well. How important good routines are. Even if you don't want to work out, even if you don't want to pull out that book and read it, even if you don't want to do this, the power of good routines. You said that before you get out of bed in the morning, you write down 5 things that you're grateful for, correct? Well, if you can build into that, those core foundational things that are so important, there is power in. It's not just about the exercise, but it changes your body, the hormones that are going on in your body. When we work our body, we create hormones that are good for the brain. It changes the serotonin, it changes the happiness chemicals.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason that working hard physically makes us happier. Because it changes the hormones that are going around in your brain. There's a reason that we need sleep, right? When we sleep, when we rest, when we stay away as much as possible from screens, even 2 hours before bedtime, our body and the circadian rhythm gets ready for sleep, and our sleep will be deeper. And it's when it's in the sleep, when in deep sleep, that your brain actually gets a chance to remove the bad things that are going on. There's toxins that float around in our body all the time. When we sleep, when we're in the deep sleep, the lymph fluid actually is cleaning out the brain and getting rid of toxins there. There's a reason that we're supposed to eat well, right? I mean, it's super easy to go through the drive-through every day, super easy. But is it giving your body what it needs? Your body needs the food that's good for the body, that fuels your body properly. Would you put uh, kerosene in a 747? No. Would you gas up a Ferrari in a normal way that you'd gas up your lawnmower? I hope not. Do you want your body to be a Ferrari? Well, then don't give it poor gas. Feed it what it needs to be fed. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about is a deep connection to a higher power, whatever it is that you believe that higher power to be, whether it's within a religious organization or whether it's your own spirituality, whatever it is. You need a deep connection to a higher power that really has the best for you, that you really believe cares about you. Because when you can, in those moments of, I don't know what to do next, I am feeling so hopeless, helpless, what do, what do we do? Well, we give it up. We give it up. It's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this alone. I need help. Well, your higher power, my higher power, loves us so much. He's just waiting, or she's just waiting, or whatever you call your higher power, are just waiting to help you. But they're not going to help you unless you ask. And that is the humility of it all. They're not going to swoop in and help you out unless you ask for help. And so those are the basic things. And if you can get those done, if you can get a handle on those, then good things start to happen. You, Marina, are evidence of it. I am evidence of it. It's not like we were the smartest, the quickest, anything. We're not Olympic athletes here. We don't have IQs like Einstein. We just changed our mindset. We started to believe in ourselves. We gave it up, and we said, I know that there's something wonderful out there, and I know it's coming to me. Whenever it comes, it's coming. And you're a prime example. I'm a prime example. And the passion that we put into what we do with hypnotherapy is all part of that, because what you give out, you get back. So I'm just really grateful. I'm really grateful for Hopenning. I'm really grateful for you, Marina. I'm grateful to RTT. I don't know where I'd be without it.
I can absolutely agree with that, friend. Very grateful as well. And you said it so well, at the end of the day, understanding that there's definitely a higher power out there, that I think one of the biggest differences in my life is understanding that whatever I do is for the greater good.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, I am just in service.
Mm-hmm.
And if that means I bring hope wherever I go, that is what I do. And being very grateful for that. But you touched on something that made me also think of something that has been a very tremendously positive tool in my life, and that's meditation.
Yeah.
And it's something that is definitely very high up on my priority list in my routine. And I mean, that goes hand in hand with gratitude to me, where you can get your mind in that positive place and connect with that higher power, whether it is prayer or just sitting and being in gratitude. To me, it's just being in that energy that there is so much good in the world. And to me, connecting with the divine love, because to me, love is everything. And if we can just get quiet enough to connect with divine love and feel it flow through us and to us, everything will change. So that's one of my favorite things on this earth, meditate. Friend, another thing is be very careful what I leak my energy on. So whether it is very careful what I watch on TV, very careful what books I read, what conversations I have, what YouTube videos I watch, because I don't want to fall into that trap of that news show that my husband and I heard on the radio, where you focus on what you are afraid of. I want to focus in everything that I do on hope, on what gives me life, and what makes this life so worth living. And that's the most important thing to me.
And sometimes it means giving up certain people in your life or changing the relationship you have with them. And so if you have people in your life, and they could be family, or they could be friends, they could be colleagues, they could be whoever, and they tend to give, and you and I both know what this means, they tend to gossip and pay attention to negativity, and they're like the vacuum. They're the black hole that sucks people in and steals their energy. And unless you're aware, unless you are conscious of, oh my God, would I do this with anybody else? Then why am I being sucked into this vortex right now with this person? Yes, they could be a family member or a good friend or whoever, a colleague. Why am I allowing my energy to be stolen into that black hole when I know all these good things? I know, and I do them, and I meditate, and I exercise, and all of those things. But why am I allowing my energy to be stolen? And just being so conscious of it. And then when you realize it happening, you just politely exit. You politely discontinue the conversation. You politely and respectfully refuse to engage. And I mean, for me, that's one of the things that I'm going to be really working on this year, because as I age, I need all the energy, all the positive energy that I can have, because yeah, immunity is important, physical health is important, mental health, and all of the things that go with mental health, dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever is coming, maybe coming around the corner, it's not for me. So protect your mental health, protect your energy. That's one of the things I have on my list. Protecting.
Yeah, that's very important, to protect yourself in every circumstance. And you talk about the change in relationships, and I think it's part of life. People are in your life for a season. I always think that we come into this life, unless you are an identical twin, you come into this life on your own, and you will leave this life on your own. Nobody's
like
going to
that.
be with you 100% every day of your life. So the sooner you build that relationship with yourself, the easier life will become.
Mhm.
And it's so important. It's so important to get to know you. I think self-love is one of the biggest missing links in our lives. I talk about that a lot. That if you can learn to love yourself and accept yourself, then you really overcome a lot. A lot of the things people want in their lives, if somebody tells me, but I want to be loved, then love yourself. Because as long as people look for that love to come from them from elsewhere, they don't heal. And again, connecting with that divine within you already, and becoming an extension of that divine love for yourself first, self-acceptance. I'm not perfect, friend, but that's okay. That's okay. I love myself even through the mistakes I made. And it's just such a beautiful gift we can give ourselves, to just become that love. It's, life really looks different when you do that.
Mhm. And one of the habits that I have started with myself is not to say, I am tired, I am sick, I am mad, I am anything. What I like to say to myself is, a part of me is. It's not I am. No, because I am means the whole of me. I am is we know how powerful the words I am are. I am are some of the most powerful words in the world, because it will change your brain. It will change your mind if you say I am. So be careful with the I ams. Instead, say, a part of me is feeling this. A part of me is angry. A part of me, because it's just a little part, and it might only last the next 15 seconds. And if a part of you is feeling angry right now, I think one of the important things is to acknowledge it, to feel it, and to recognize why and which part of you is so angry right now. Which little scenario is your brain playing over in your mind that happened, could have been when you were 5 years old and you were teased and somebody called you fat, or somebody called you stupid, or somebody called you whatever. There's this little inhuman inside of Franny who was called that. And so it's not I am, it's this little part of me that is feeling sad, lonely, angry, upset, frustrated. And to actually, and this is a practice that I do, is talk to that little Franny and say, oh, honey, I'm so sorry that you're feeling that way. Here, I'm going to give you a big hug.
Yeah.
Just like you would do with your grandchild, right? I'm going to give you a big hug. Are you feeling better? Hey, yeah, I do. I do feel better. And it's as simple as that, because you acknowledged the part of you that's feeling that way. And I think with RTT, we do that. We're masters at teaching people how to do that.
Yeah, that's such a great tool that we have to lift them up and feel connection with that inner child.
And the inner child or children, whichever part of you is whatever, they're all us. Although those little children are us, it makes us who into the adult that who we are right now. Thank you for being, thank you for getting me here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, any last thoughts of hope?
Well, we covered procrastinating, we covered things that suck and things that don't, gratitude. One of the things that I just learned about the other day, again from a neuroscientist, was how when we get really into the flow, say that we're running or biking, or we need to really concentrate because we're climbing the wall and we need to know where to put our foot and our hand, and so that we can do that rock climbing thing. We're very focused. It's actually a type of meditation, and some of my very best conversations with God is when I'm in that flow. Well, he flipped it around and he said something exactly opposite, but exactly the same. He said, one of the ways where you can really get into flow, to get really creative, is to still your body. So it's a kind of like a meditation, but it's not with a guided meditation or mantras or anything like that. He said to still your body, connect to your breathing, and think in complete thoughts, complete sentences. So just wait for it to come. And then whatever comes, usually in meditation, we try to, send that cloud away so that we can stay tranquil. And that's all part of it too. You have to do that in your meditation phase. But in this, he said to just relax, calm your body, breathe deep, and then let the thoughts come, but let them come in complete sentences only. So rather than the flickering static that goes on with sometimes during meditation, let them come, but stay on one thought. So if it comes into my mind that, oh yeah, I have a grocery list or something, continue that thought, but only in a complete sentence. And then continue that, but only in a complete sentence. So it's quite fascinating. I haven't tried it yet, but I am going to try that.
It's
And
practice, my goodness.
I'm going to start a new practice, but it's attached to my habit stack. And
Well, do you think writing down those thoughts will help you?
maybe, but then you have that going on,
Yeah.
right? You have the movement. So he says just to calm yourself until there's no movement at all. And I'm sure that you would hear the, your heartbeat, you'd hear the pulse, you would hear what's going on around you. But man, I can imagine my focus really improving with something like that.
Right. Amazing.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much, my friend. And we will chat again next week.
we will. And I'm so excited to hear more about the TV and your program that you're going to have on TV.
Thank you, friend.
And even the name of the program. That is just brilliant, hopefully.
Thank you so much. And all the best for you and your new endeavors as well. Very exciting. I just love how everything falls in place. Just so beautiful.
Thank you, Marina.
That just gives hope, doesn't it?
Yes, it surely
Thank
does.
you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for being with us right in the beginning of 2024. And we are aiming to bring you a lot more hope this year.
Yeah. And if you like our channel, please subscribe and share with your friends. Everybody needs more hope. And this is the place where we do our best to bring it to you.
Okay.